Right, I was just, as I said before in the other video, that the evidence against them is overwhelming. But this evidence is almost also overwhelming of who actually was instigating the violence and who was actually losing and who was actually winning, and who was achieving anything from criminal conflicts and criminal the use of fear and violence, the use of abuse, threats, intimidation, harassment, the use of only people with something to hide go out and attack victims. They have everything to hide because all they do is attack victims. The victim's held criminally to blackmail and ransom to settle. Now, the victim doesn't really have any options because the legal jurisdictions in New Zealand are built on the fundamentals of organised crime, like I said. They're a mafia. Their laws and their legislation are all about them committing crimes against their victims and getting away with it. The victim settles so they can move on, so they can move forward. The victim doesn't settle to then be attacked again and again and again and again and again and again. Now, the reason the victim is attacked all the time is because the victim's still demanding justice and accountability along with the settlements. That was agreed to. The victim also was agreed to that he would get the best medical treatment money could buy, twice. The victim was also agreed to in the second one to be set off in his own self-employed business, and that would have been the end of the fucking problem. So, rehabilitation, career, own business, what fucking more do you want? Somebody say, like, that allows the victim to move on. So why was my life turned back into a criminally blackmailing, criminally holding to ransom situation? Why was it state criminal kidnapped by terrorists? Why was it declared an act of war against me? Why did the police walk into a courtroom in the middle of a fucking trial, pointing fingers at a victim? Why is a Crown solicitor telling a victim he needs to watch his back? Why is a fucking ombudsman telling a victim you're going to need a gun to resolve this? Why is a Queen's Counsel covering up all the evidence of all their criminal actions? Why are the police not doing criminal investigations into their actions? Why is the IPCA not investigating the police for their criminal actions? Why is the Privacy Commission not upholding the Privacy Acts and covering up the crimes of ACC Crown and Government? Why are they using false names to literally communicate with a victim, which literally breaches all the Privacy Acts? Why has the government refused to call for a Royal Commission of Inquiry long before now? Why did the government repeal the laws of criminal provocation when they're involved in crimes themselves of criminal provocation? Why is the government, why are they running racketeering and holding people criminally to blackmail and ransom and calling it rehabilitation? Why is New Zealand run like a fucking Nazi concentration camp under ACC? Why is ACC such an abortion fucking clinic? Why are lawyers telling doctors how to do their fucking job? Why are judges making decisions over doctors' decisions? Why are ACC paying people to write up fictitious reports? You know, these are just some of the situations that I'm speaking of. But the reality is that the victim is not the fucking problem here. The problem here is the laws and the legislation are fucked. They're being manipulated by terrorists. They're being implemented by terrorists. Terrorists are even writing up their own agreements and then throwing them out the window and getting away with fucking murder, moving into a higher position of power to commit more fucking crimes. So the victim is literally their prisoner, their hostage, and their captive for committing no fucking crime, simply for being injured. New Zealand is the most prejudiced, racist, discriminatory country you'll ever come across when it comes to ACC Crown and Government. The police are used as a fucking lynch mob. Everybody they employ is part of the fucking problem because none of them do their jobs for the victim. They do what they're fucking told to do by the terrorists in positions of power. And that's half the problem. So, you can make what you will of that. That's all factual of what's going on, well, some of what's going on in this case. To list it all would take a Royal Commission of Inquiry, which the government doesn't want, because it's always been driven for a last resort, because that way they get to destroy their fucking victim's life no matter what. They've taken 20 fucking years. How much more do you want? So, this is to everybody I'm speaking to now. If the government doesn't step up and address this fucking case, if the media don't start reporting on the facts of this case, and the evidence that is overwhelming of the criminalities of the people involved, there's going to be fucking hell to pay. There's going to be fucking hell to pay. The Ashburton tragedy, that was a fucking tragedy. And then the government went out and spent, what, 20, 30 fucking $million every year now beefing up security and handing out thousands of fucking trespass notices. That's the actions of a fucking lynch mob. And that's what these people act like, a fucking lynch mob. They are the most paranoid, psycho, schizophrenics you'll ever fucking come across. Now, they could have resolved the matter for next to nothing. But that wasn't good enough. They had to go out and attack everybody in fucking society. Or everybody that had any dealings with their organised crime-run organisations. Or the extremism of these organised crime-run organisations. Because New Zealand's run like a fucking mafia. And if you don't like what I have to say, I really don't give a shit, because it's all truth. It's all fact. There's none of you can dispute it. There's none of you can argue it. There's none of you can even debate it, because your laws and your legislation, which Andrew Little, I must admit, is trying to he's trying to change some things. I'm just not sure what he's actually trying to change. That's confusing to me. At least he's doing something. But if he doesn't fucking address this case, then he's going to have bigger fucking problems than he fucking thinks. And so is fucking the Prime Minister. So is the entire fucking government. So is the entire fucking country, because I ain't taking any more of your fucking shite. And you can fucking take that laying down now. Take responsibility for your crimes. Hold the people responsible who committed the crimes criminally to account. And then we'll all be on the right page. Keep holding me criminally to blackmail and ransom. Keep defrauding me, keep running your criminal racketeering run system. There's going to be fucking, there will be hell to pay. Now, there's not one of them will ever fucking walk on the same side of the street as me without this ending in a fucking mess. So, as it stands, everybody's trying to hide behind each other and fucking cover up each other's fucking crimes and trying to literally turn it into another criminally blackmailing, holding to ransom situation and another and another. There's not one of them can fucking argue the point of this case. Because you can't argue this is an act of war against you, Michael. No one can ever argue that point. And you couldn't even defend your fucking actions in a court of law. The only thing the government could do was repeal the laws of criminal provocation. Simply because some woman let a guy into her fucking house who murdered her daughter, and then all of a sudden, every victim now has to be fucking victimized because of her case? No fucking way. As much as I sympathize with her situation, or empathize with it, because she's a mother, she should have known better. She's a daughter, she should have known better. The guy's probably fucking had psychopathic fucking tendencies before that. But to then come out and go around to all the sympathetic people in New Zealand who literally then screw over every other victim of criminal provocation when the government commits more criminal provocations than anybody in the fucking world. I can tell you that now. In New Zealand, I should say. So, there's the situation. You haven't had to go through what I've had to go through. And this fucker has gotten away with murder. And I'm not taking public-private criminal prosecutions for the evidence that's overwhelming against them. The government has a choice. They can either prosecute them on the evidence that already exists as to their criminalities, or they can call for a Royal Commission of Inquiry and they can defend themselves. They can answer for the criminalities that they've actually committed. They can explain themselves fully, which they can't. So, literally, it's all in the government's hands. And it's all Crown and taxpayers' money that's going to be used. So, either way, someone's going to fucking jail. Everybody says, oh, you're mad, oh, you're this, oh, get off those fucking drugs, oh, you're never going to get criminal accountability and justice. I fucking am. It might cost me my life, but I'm going to get fucking something out of this. And justice will be part of it. Whether that's personal or whether it's through the rule of law, then, yeah, I think the Justice Minister needs to address the rule of law in New Zealand, because it's nothing but organised fucking crime. And I think that the lawyers and the judges and the politicians, I think they've all turned themselves into their own fucking mafia. And they think they can fuck over every victim they like. Well, this is one victim they're not going to get to fuck over. They've taken 20 years of my life, they fucked me over for 20 years. But they still haven't fucking won the case. They're still having I've still got an ongoing battle. But they're not keeping control of it. They've got a choice. They can either deal with it the way it should be dealt with. Reviews and appeals, you can't argue any of these criminal activities and criminal actions of these terrorists. So, at the end of the day, the review and appeal process is the biggest load of shite anyway. It's as corrupt as the day is long. It's illegal, it's unlawful, and it's criminally motivated. Nobody gets done for perjury because they all lie through their fucking teeth. Nobody's called to testify as to their actions. No one's called for making the decisions that they made, which are criminally motivated at all times. Literally what they want is a free crimes act for themselves. We can commit any crime we like and fuck you, you know. That's literally the bottom line. Well, they know that it's not going away. And I think with the Prime Minister making her speech to the United Nations, I think she just opened the door for me big time. Thanks very much, Jacinda. Because you have nobody at the fucking table but me. You're all at your own fucking table, doing whatever the fuck he's like. But you're not around the table with the victim. So you have to keep everybody at the table. We'll get them fucking around the table and let them start answering their questions. Because you've got thousands of people who need to lose their jobs. They need to have their licenses revoked for all the professions involved. And they need to never be allowed to work for ACC Crown and Government or any contractor to ACC Crown and Government ever again. That is what is needed.